Hello, I'm Sam.
And I'm Mike.
Welcome to the Lehigh-Mason Mason City Cement Plant. Here at Lehigh-Mason, safety is our #1 priority. This video is designed to make you aware of any hazard you may encounter while visiting our site.
And to ensure you don't become a hazard to any of our employees.
This video is not only important for your safety, but it's also mandatory. Lehigh-Mason is regulated by the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Any contractor working at this site or any visitor must receive this site-specific training.
If you have any questions regarding any of the information we go over in this video, please contact your Lehigh-Mason representative.
Upon your arrival, be sure to sign the register located in the office, and don't forget to sign out upon leaving.
While working or visiting at this site, the minimum personal protective equipment you must wear is at least a hard hat to protect the head, safety glasses to protect the eyes, steel-toed boots to protect the feet, gloves to protect the hands, and your outermost garment must be high visibility front and back and must be ANSI 2 certified. Remember, when wearing a hard hat, the brim must face forward.
Other personal protective equipment to be used as needed are face shields while grinding, proper density glasses for oxygen fuel burning or welding, splash-proof goggles while working with chemicals, hearing protectors such as earplugs or earmuffs for noisy areas, respirators to protect the lungs in dusty atmospheres, and proper gloves to protect the hands, long pants to protect the legs, and practice good personal hygiene at all times.
Prior to working in any area, a workplace examination must be conducted and documented. Any hazards that are found during the examination must be corrected or barricaded. Safe access must be provided and maintained to all work areas. This includes walkways. Make sure you do not leave tools or other debris in the walkway so someone can come trip over them. Safe access not only has to be provided, it must be maintained. This would include keeping your work area free from tripping hazards. Do not run your cords through walkways. Pick up any debris or other materials that may cause tripping hazards, and be sure to store your tools in their proper place.
Lehigh-Mason has a vehicle segregation policy. As a contractor, it is your responsibility to read and follow this policy. This policy was put into place to help eliminate larger vehicles from striking small vehicles and from striking people.
While traveling throughout the facility, whether walking or driving, please pay close attention. Our facility operates large and small mobile mining equipment. There are some guidelines you need to follow. Before operating any equipment at this site, you must first be task trained. This task trained training must be documented and a copy of the document kept here at the mine site for review by MSHA. In any case, never operate mobile equipment until you are trained and authorized to do so. When parking mobile equipment and leaving it unattended, all brakes must be set. All attachments must be fully lowered to the ground, and the wheels must be chocked to prevent the equipment from moving unintentionally. Your wheel chocks must be placed on a downhill grade of a slope. If you're unsure which way the slope is going, place a chalk on both sides of the slope. Always drive on the right side of the roadway, including quarry traffic patterns. Pay attention and follow all posted traffic signs. Be sure to stop at every stop sign. Always give the right of way to loaded vehicles or heavy equipment. Only essential contractor vehicles required for work are allowed beyond the designated contractor's vehicle parking area and onto plant property. Essential vehicles are defined as those required to transport tools and/or equipment necessary to perform contracted work on plant premises. All other vehicles owned, leased, or rented by and operated by contractor employees, contract visitors, and contractor vendors shall park and leave non-essential vehicles in the designated contractor's vehicle parking area while visiting and performing work on plant property. When equipment is being repaired, maintained, or left unattended, or at the end of its shift, you must block or otherwise secure any raised portion of that equipment. Before putting mobile equipment into motion, you must sound an audible alarm to warn pedestrians and other vehicle operators that you're about to move. After sounding that alarm, pause a few seconds to give other equipment operators and pedestrians time to get out of the way. Follow all posted speed limits. However, some weather conditions may require that you drive slower. Before operating mobile equipment, a pre-shift examination must be conducted by the operator at the beginning of each shift. Defects which affect safety must be reported and recorded, and arrangements made to get them corrected as soon as possible. A record of the pre-shift examination must be kept here at the mine site and made available for review by MSHA. When defects make continued operation hazardous, that equipment must be tagged out of service and not operated until the defects are corrected. While operating mobile equipment or riding in any vehicle, everyone must be in the cab with a proper seatbelt on. Never ride in the bed or tailgate of the truck. Never attempt to get on or off mobile equipment while it is in motion. All equipment and tools must be inspected prior to use. If any safety defects are found, these tools must be fixed or tagged out of service, or placed in an area specifically for out-of-service tools. Never use equipment or tools with safety defects. Safety guards on construction tools and equipment must not be removed. Machinery guarding is not to be removed by contractors unless given specific instructions to do so by an official of Lehigh Cement Company. If guards are removed temporarily to facilitate equipment maintenance, lockout and tagout procedures must be in place. A big hazard here at the plant are moving machine parts. Belt lines, gears, sprockets, and chains. Any of these things that can move can badly injure or kill you. We have guards to protect most of these parts. One of the safeguards we have in place is to sound an audible alarm anytime a belt line is about to start. So if you hear an audible alarm in your area, watch out because that belt line is about to start.
For fire safety, fire extinguishers are located throughout the plant. Please be familiar with the location of the fire extinguisher that is in your area. If you're going to be doing any hot work, make sure the fire extinguisher is readily available and fully charged. If you're not sure how to use the fire extinguisher, please ask your Lehigh-Mason representative.
All oxygen, acetylene, and MAP tanks must be kept upright and secured so that there is no possibility of tanks falling over. Tanks must be properly stored when not in use. Valve covers must be kept in place at all times unless the tanks are in use. When tanks are in use but must be left unattended, the tank valves must be shut off and gases must be released from the lines. All tanks must be removed from the job site once no longer needed for the job. A fire extinguisher must also be present. Any rags that contain grease, flammables, or combustibles must be disposed of in a covered metal container.
In this industry, we have what are called confined spaces. A confined space is identified by its characteristics. It is large enough for an employee to bodily enter. It is difficult to get in and out of. It is not meant for continued employee occupancy. If it fits the confined space definition, and it also has a recognized hazard, either on its own or you are bringing the hazard into the space, you must follow the Lehigh-Mason Permit Confined Space Program, which includes having a Lehigh-Mason supervisor sign a permit to conduct that work.
Electricity is a hazard no matter where you go. Here at Lehigh-Mason, you must be authorized and competent to work on anything electrical. Before attempting to perform maintenance on any system, it must first be de-energized, locked out, tagged out, and checked. Each employee working on the system must install their own lock. The key must be kept with them at all times so no one else can attempt to start it without their knowledge. Remember, hazards are not always at eye level. Look up. We have electric lines here on our site. Anytime you're working near these lines, you must keep ladders, equipment, and yourself at least 10 feet away from these lines at all times. When in doubt, consider all lines energized. If you see a yellow light in the tower flashing, that indicates high pressure water blasting is taking place in the tower on miscellaneous floor levels, or a cyclone is plugged. Please contact the kiln control operator before entering the tower. If you do not need to be in the tower at this time, come back later. The blue light in the coal indirect system means that oxygen levels have risen to a level where we do not want any part of the system opened to allow more oxygen into the system. If oxygen levels continue to rise, an automatic suppression system will take effect. When the blue light is flashing, calmly exit the area.
If you're going to use a man lift at our facility, you must first be trained and authorized to do so. In any case, make sure you are familiar with the controls and make sure you use the fall protection anytime you're in a man lift. When working at a height of 6 feet or more and a danger of falling exists, you must be protected from falling with either a guardrail or a personal fall rest system. Your personal fall rest system must consist of a full body harness, a lanyard, and an adequate anchor point. When working from an elevated area, be sure to secure your tools to prevent them from falling onto other people. Also, barricade the area below your work to keep others from entering, then post signs to direct people to stay out of that area. You must stay clear of suspended loads. If you have to work with a suspended load, a tagline must be used. Be sure to attach a tagline before the load is lifted. Make sure it is made up of non-conductive material and also long enough for the safety of your riggers. And never wrap a tagline around a body part.
As a contractor, if you bring chemicals to our site, you must make sure that your containers are properly labeled. For chemical safety, this plant has safety data sheets. If you bring a chemical onto our site, you must bring a safety data sheet with it. In any case, never work with a chemical unless you have been trained on that chemical.
Yellow caution tape denotes potential hazard. Yellow tape should be tagged to indicate the hazard when the hazard is not immediately obvious. Tags should include the date and the reason for the tape. Yellow tape may be removed only when the potential hazard or hazards have been corrected. Red danger tape denotes known hazard. Unauthorized persons should not cross the tape. Red tape is to be tagged to indicate the hazard. The tag should include the date and reason for the tape. Red tape may only be crossed by an authorized person who has been instructed in all the hazards and has the proper personal protective equipment. Red tape may only be removed after the hazard or hazards have been corrected.
Blasting operations are conducted at this quarry. The blaster will sound an alarm exactly 5 minutes prior to detonation. Precautions must be taken at that time. All personnel must evacuate the blast area. When the final warning of the shot begins, no personnel shall be allowed near the blast area after the shot has gone off until the all clear has been given by the licensed blaster in charge to the supervisor in charge. Remember, with any blasting operation, there's always a chance for fly rock. Never attempt to get close or watch a blast while it is going off.
As a contractor, you and your crew need to be familiar with our emergency response and disaster control plan. Sometimes events can happen that are beyond our control, such as tornadoes, lightning strikes, explosions, flash floods, even acts of terrorism. This plan gives you guidelines on how to respond to each of these events. Please take the time to review this plan and be familiar with it. Cell phones are permitted to be used for work-related communication and emergencies, but they can be very distracting. So if you are making or receiving a call, stop your work, make sure you're in a safe area. End your conversation before proceeding to walk or do any work.
While operating any equipment or vehicle on this property, cell phone use is only permitted when parked in a safe location.
As a final note, no horseplay, gambling, firearms, drugs, or alcohol are permitted on this property.
Your failure to follow the rules and policies of Lehigh-Mason and MSHA could mean a citation from MSHA and dismissal from our property. Remember, the best safety tool you have is you. Use your eyes, ears, and nose to be constantly on the lookout for hazards. If you see a hazard, use your mouth and report it to a Lehigh-Mason representative. And never take shortcuts. Your cooperation with these policies will help ensure that you and everyone at this site goes home to their family every day. We want to thank you for your work here at Lehigh-Mason and hope you have a safe work day.